I made a massive mistake today. I drank my caffeine yesterday, and now I don't have any. Bastard. Nice cap. Daily grinding, you know it. See how it goes, though. It's Friday, I'm tired, and more importantly, I drank my caffeine yesterday, and I don't have any more. The stage-only bosses. I practiced some of the mid-bosses in this game, like Hydro Camouflage and Momiji, and occasionally a little bit of Sinai mid-spell. It kind of depends on the game, right? This game doesn't have a stage portion that I really want, that I'm practicing anymore. Like, I'm pretty happy with all the stages themselves. Like, the only thing I'd practice maybe are, like, the weird off fairies on stage 4. But for the most part, I only do, the bosses in this. Oop. Oop. Kind of depends on what you need to, but a lot of the stage, especially in this game, the stages are really route heavy. They're really route centric. So, most of the stages, like, if you ignore the mid-bosses, of course, but, like, most of the stages in this game are just so kind of linear. Yeah, Giga Chad Fairy on stage 6, that final fairy is a problem. Don't get me wrong, absolutely is a problem, but, like, I have practiced him plenty before. And, like, I could probably get a little bit more experience with him, no doubt for sure, but, like, I'm pretty comfortable with him. Now, on pace is a different story, but, you know. The reality is that most of my issues, at least, a vast majority of them come from the bosses. Or the mid-bosses. Oops. Well, that doesn't mean I'm never willing to practice the stage portion. Sometimes you have really bad days with certain parts. Some days you play really well in things, some days you play not as well in things. Sometimes, like let's take Subterranean. I can use this game as a good example. There are several portions of Stage 4 where it's like, okay, it's pretty linear, and then sometime I just kind of, like, lost that, and I had to sit down and spend a day, like, re-practicing. Brings the hardest boss in Moth. For the sake of the LNN, I'll just specifically talk about that, because that's what I'm going for. I mean, obviously the answer is Aya or Kaneko. There's no question, it's one of those two. I'm a little torn. I'd probably say Aya, but marginally. I think there's an argument to be had for both of them. I'll say Aya for now, but honestly, sometimes it really just depends on how I'm playing in a day. Kaneko has a lot more breathers. Is one thing Kaneko does have, but she does have a lot more attacks, to be fair. Stage 6 boss, yada yada. I feel like a lot of people will say that Peerless Wind God is the hardest attack in the game. Because Peerless Wind God is as it is. So some people view that as harder than Divine Virtues. I can see it going either way at times. The normal Sinai causes you a lot of problems. Well, that's not wrong. That's just, it's different though, right? Like when I grinded even my 1cc in this game, you know what I struggled with a lot? Notorious Final. You know what I don't struggle with right now? Notorious Final. But that's just context as to what's going on. Like, I would argue for the context of this run, Sinai's not even the third hardest boss. She might not even be the fourth hardest boss in the run, if you include mid-bosses. For the run, for the purpose of where I am at in the run. That doesn't mean, but a big thing about Sinai is she has some slow-moving, tight patterns that if you... I'm not really that familiar with normal. I don't know how much she varies from Lunatic to normal, so... I can't say everything about that exactly, but she has a lot of dense, slow-moving bullets, which can be really hard. But a lot of it is a number of her attacks have let's take her first spell. Her first spell is a really good example of this. For the sake of the run, it's what I would argue free, quote unquote. Like, it's not an attack I'm putting I'm really that concerned about for run. Like, it's one of her least concerning attacks. But but that's partially because I know how to route things. I've played LNNs enough, and I've sat down and I've spent time learning the intricacies of some of these attacks, like her spell 1. Where if you're not going to sit down and spend an hour on an attack, her spell 1 is actually really tricky, because if you just walk into it with a tiny bit of experience, like a lot of, what I call casual players, which is a majority of people that play the game. Most people don't play the game to try to play perfectly on the hardest difficulty. You're not sitting down there routing everything. Right? You often wing a lot of attacks. And that's a big thing about some of her really tight dodging, her slow bullet, tight dodging attacks. Let's take a Summon Takiminakata. That attack is basically static. I kind of do the same thing every time. It's not really an issue. As long as I'm paying enough attention, it's not a problem. But if you don't have the experience or other people to tell you and help you with this, you're kind of playing that on just in the moment, and that makes it a really bad attack if you're not playing at this standard. The point where you sit there, you learn the attack, you learn the consistencies of it, and you kind of end up winging most attacks. A lot of attacks like Summon Takiminakata suddenly become significantly worse. Because when you want an LNN, realistically, the best thing to do is to try, okay, how do I do each attack as consistently as possible? You gotta break apart attack by attack, part by stage portion by stage portion. How do I make this as by the way, I capped Hero's Wind God and I just reset. I didn't even do her final. So, perfect Aya, but I didn't actually do the final. Touhou games, crossing bullets has always been the thing that I feel stands out the most to me. Demarcation, Cat's Walk. This attack. Now, I've gotten good at, learning how... I've gotten, way better at learning how to read these types of attacks, but... I could argue this attack to a degree, but, I wouldn't say it's a weakness. This attack is very hard. And I feel actually fairly comfortable at it. I feel better on it than Cat's Walk, I'd argue. Not by a long shot by any means, but... I don't know, that's an easy way for me to, pick a quote-unquote weakness. There are a number of things that I struggle with for various reasons. It also feels weird, because sometimes it just kind of comes off as, a week-to-week thing. There's a couple really good eyes. Holy based. Could argue weakness is that oftentimes for certain static attacks, I'll find a line, and even if it's a suboptimal line, I'm too stubborn to learn a new line. So I try to hyperfixate on the suboptimal line at times. I get distracted easily, which really becomes a problem if I'm not, like, deep in a run. Make it very hard to get back to being deep in a run. This attack, it's very consistent. This attack is very super consistent. There's a little bit of variation depending on how much she moves and if you move a little too much, but the game plan is super consistent. The line's gonna be super consistent, but you have to like do it enough to pick up where it is. Nice. I'm actually kind of cracked right now. Hold up. Weird, I did not get a lot of sleep last night. In fact, I'd go far to say that I got only a little bit of sleep. That non-1, by the way, I despise that non-1. You go pay attention, you know. Being distracted is a problem. Okay, so are you talking about Kaneko's first spell card there? If you're arguing it's her easiest spell, then it absolutely is her easiest spell. Well, yeah, it's definitely easier than even Source. Like Mad Dance or whatever it is. Shebang. Oh. Because, like, this attack is disgusting. In terms of consistency, but just reading. Like, I've gotten solid at it, but, like, I still hate it. I hate having to do it. This spell is really fine. Like, there's, like, one aspect of it you have to be careful of. which is the blue wave you bait right there. You see this first blue wave coming down. Where you bait that wave is important to pay attention to. And otherwise, as long as you do that, it's fine. This attack is perfectly fine. In fact, I would argue it's her easiest attack by a landslide because there's nothing to it besides a simple movement. I don't like this attack. It's a little tricky just because it's a bit weird. It's not bad, though. It gives you plenty of... It does give you a decent amount of time to react, is a big thing. This attack, it used to be a problem, but Alan taught me a pretty consistent line for it. So it's really not that much of an issue. Unless I actually mess up. This attack is a problem. Okay, that was a little on me, but that was also just a really bad wave. Right. Right. It's Jover. I played well for like 20 minutes. Good. Well, telling people to get good is the easiest thing to do it. I mean, for better or for worse, unfortunately, the best way to get better is to just play more. But there is other things that can help pick up. But unfortunately, I believe the hardest thing about getting good at, well, anything, but Touhou, notably, because that's what I'm at here, is having the patience to learn things. Sit down and to take the time to get good. You know, I got into Touhou under the presumption that I wanted to get an LNN. And you know what? I did get an LNN, but it also took me like 6 years. Well, it is a little bit hard to say because, like, different people learn and practice differently. So, like, what works for some people that won't necessarily work for everyone. But I mean, one of the reasons I got to this point, I say was a good start, is like, I went through every 1cc before I started LNN grinding. And did I have to do all of them? Probably not. And by probably, I mean most definitely not. But I set up a lot of experience just doing all of that. And spending the several years on and off of doing that. Which helped me lay the groundwork of starting the LNN grinds and then being patient in them. I mean, like, let's look at it this way, right? Let's take Subterranean. I already had an LNN when I started grinding Subterranean. And it took me just over 6 months to get that LNN. And that is usually playing 6 days a week. A couple hours a day. As a Game Glitcher, you can't tell me what to do. Bastard. But sometimes you need to practice attacks specifically. Sometimes you need to practice things at abroad. Some people are a big proponent of sets, trying to learn an attack, do an attack over and over and over to learn it. And that is good. There are some people that really talk down to that. It is good to sit down and practice attacks, especially ones you struggle with over and over, to try to get better at it. But sometimes it's also a good idea to step back and do things at abroad. Doing, do this stage portion as a whole. Practice the boss as a whole. I'm gonna get some water and then I'll do some runs. Sorry, Game Glitcher only wants to watch me die to Miko over and over. Just kidding, I've never died to Miko. What do you mean awful? Over and over. Well, I haven't actually done that in the Nuzlocke yet, at least. Although I believe you missed some of the encounters yesterday. SMH Game Glitcher. Halfway through, yeah, SMH. Unfortunately, the encounters themselves... Well, okay, I was about to say the encounters themselves were not that exciting. There is an exception. I hit Eika and Arumi, kind of the boring two. Unfortunately, I hit both of them again. I hit Luis on the Path of Liminality. I got the Guaranteed Suika. I got Hina in the Genbu Ravine again, which is great. And more importantly, I hit Orin at the Hakare Shrine. So those are the counters I picked up. I still have to get the one in the Cumulus base, or whatever the Keiki's base is. I haven't got that encounter yet, but I got all the other ones. Well, most of my encounters that aren't Orin are not, like, the most exciting. Holy shit, did I hit the stats on some of those encounters, Game Glitcher. Like, Auron is, like, all of their stats are just insane. Auron is, like, B or B plus speed with an S physical attack and a red mark. Like, I think Arumi's worst stat is, like, a B minus or something. The Luis is cracked. Like, so many of them are just cracked. Absolutely. Easy bumper crop. Now that I have the boat, though, I have to go get a bunch of items and stuff next. I'm probably going to do that upstream, though, just to get it over with. Like, the grabbing all the Forest of Magic items. Okay, Hina. Act a human. hate this attack so much. Okay, back to Hina. Oh no, not another Hina emoter. Yeah, apparently I start talking about the one thing you like, and then you leave. It's unbelievable, Game Master. You hear me talk about the puppets I got. There was some hits. By some hits, I mean there was a real notable hit. Nope, okay. Well, I only lost the one puppet. I lost the Origamis to Remy. I didn't lose anything else throughout the day. I did not get the Tumulus base encounter, so the almost guaranteed Mayumi is going to have to wait till next time. But I hit the guaranteed Suika, Hina and the Genru Ravine, Path of Liminality. I hit Luis. I unfortunately once again hit Eika and Arumi, so I didn't get any cool encounters over there. And then at the Hakurei Shrine I got Orin, which was cool. However, more importantly than some of my encounters being cool, is the fact that some of them, those last few encounters, like the Arumi and the Luis and the Orin, have insane stats. Like, the stats they got were absurd. Luis is fucking great. Yeah, Luis is just unbelievable base stats. And the other two are both really good as well. So I want. I was really tempted to take extra, but I took a assist. I need the wind puppet. Defense is mage. Yeah, but I wanted to take better advantage of like my it's like S speed and like A+ spread attack or something. And I want to say it was like a green mark or some shit. Yeah, I had an E physical defense. Everything else was like cracked. It's cracked on that thing. Even with the E physical defense, I was still kind of tempted to take the defense Luis, but the assist or extra lets me take better advantage of her spread attack and speed, which is more important to me personally. And more importantly, I just wanted the wind. Yeah, it was like I forget the specifics. I'd have to go back and look, but it was insane. The Arumi is also, like, really stupid statted. Like, it's like B... It's like 2 Bs, 2 As, and like an S or something. Plus speed nature. The Orin's a little less cracked, like, defensively, but S attack with a red mark and, like, a B+ speed or whatever was still insane. It's XP, yeah. I gave her a stat investment earlier today. I was doing a couple of the style changes before I was going over to a buddy's place. And, I actually, like, last time I gave her max spread attack, max HP, but I think I gave her max spread attack, max speed this time around. Being all this, isn't like 1 in a billion, something like that? Around that. Which is weird, because I get it every run with my starter. Any message again? Yeah, the Origamis died, but the Origamis died so Orin could run. Like, this Orin is legitimately, like, all the other encounters look pretty good, but this Orin looks kind of cracked. Orin Glazer. Well, Gypsum was the one who got me to, like, kind of, like, look into it a bit. And, this, was it Speed Orin? Or is it, like, Power Orin? I forget which one. Whatever. It's morale boost. It's cracked. It looks cool. It wants really good speed and really good physical attack, and I have literally the best physical attack you can have with, like, a B speed. Looks pretty good. And morale boost, so... Speed Orin, yeah. I mean, it looks great. It looks like, depending on the situation, it can kind of just win you the game outright. Like, not necessarily the easiest thing to get in all the time, but if you can get it in and get a kill, you might just literally sweep teams on the spot. Magon. Isn't there one of the question marks has Magon? If I'm not mistaken, I feel like one of them did. Would be Kanako's Iswak with current roster. Well, the good news is I don't really have to consider that option right now. I don't really have to consider that, like, at all right now. Because, like, by the time I get to Kanako, I get, like, an additional, like, 10 encounters or something. And the answer is, I don't know, but I haven't, like, I looked through my box to figure out, like, what I could use for it. She has that poison skill. It's like poison plus... Is it poison plus confusion? Or is it like poison plus, like, blind or something? Like most of the Isuakus have. Like, they tend to run, like, first aid. Then should be, like, coverage skills in earth and poison. Then that, like, poison plus scare. Yeah. Scare is spread attack. You know... Well, here's a thought I had. Does Extra Hina get access to a burn ability? To, like, the ability to burn something? Because I just thought about it on the spot. Extra Hina kind of seems kind of nuts against it. Right? You're, like, normally the problem... Because, like, you would like to be poisoned to be immune to the poison, but then you're weak to Earth, but she's immune to Earth. Well, if I want to look at this for a sec. Extra Hina. Like, if you throw a Drain Seed on her, does she ever, like... Do you ever just, like... say that's fine? Maybe you click Exploding Blaze a bunch and try to get, like, a burn off. You could set up poison traps. Contagia doesn't do anything, tragically, but... Where do you get Thermit? Where do you pick up the team for Thermit? Yeah, you get Holy Flare at level 70, but level 70 is too late, at least for the Kanako fight, right? Poison Warp? Oh, I thought it was Poison Earth. Poison Warped is better, though. Right? Would be better in this situation. Does Poison resist Thermit, or, Warped? Someone tell me the tech card. Remains of Blazing Hell, okay. Maybe you could have this for something like the later Isuakos, depending on where all of them are. Because it does resist warp. I mean, the reality is... Okay, well, okay, here's the other question. How much PP... Okay, it's not PP in this game. What's the SP? How many uses of First Aid can you use? What's the use count on First Aid before it runs out of uses? 15. I mean, Is it is it insane to say that? Hello, Hobbs. Hello, hope you're doing well. Is it insane to say that extra Hina with like Force Shield, Drain Seed, and Jar of Poison just doesn't die? Is that crazy? I don't think I've PP stalled anyone yet in this game. Or in my runs. Not yet. Like, with the fact that I get Force Shield and Drain Seed... I don't know, it's a thought. Like, yeah, she hits hard physically, and Hina's not the best physically bulky puppet, but... You resist both of her stabs, you have a really good base HP, you got Drain Seed up, Force Shield... I mean, it's a thought. It's probably not going to be the only potential thought. Poison Warp. Poison resists fighting, right? Unfortunately, you don't have the fighting answer to, Keener. Or to, Suwako. Unfortunately, Poison's good against Warp, but the Poison resists Poison as well. And the Wind is also cringe, because, the Warp counters the Wind. What is she even weak to? Earth? Earth and Sound. I am also weak to sounding. But the good news is I have a lot of bulky puppets right now. The awkward thing about the Konako fight is if you try to status it, she probably just switches into, like, Konako. And then, of course, Konako is quad weak. Konako's quad weak to Steel. The thing is, I don't think the AI is particularly great about switching around Drain Seed. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just feel like perhaps with extra Hina, if you can get that Drain Seed off, you could potentially really try to outstall that thing. Aki-human. Holy crap, I made it past Hydro. Do all of the main story extra Suwako's run negative aura? I don't actually know the top of my head. You're right, hello Kageyama. Kageyama, is it true that extra Hina is the greatest puppet of all time? Partially because it's based after Hina? Okay, that makes sense. I guess, doesn't that, though, in... Wait, no, Negative Aura is not the one that makes you, partly weak to light. So I fucking hate you, bitch. I just did that really terribly. Yeah, Cloak of Darkness. Where are all these? Standard boss. Mm-hmm. None of the okay, Medicine in the Suzerain Field has one. Kind of glancing through to see who has them. But that one's after level 70. Of course, Conoco does, and that one's a real problem. Because, like, I feel like the ones after level 70, there's the potential of just clicking Thermit with extra Hina. East Walkers. 4.2. Yeah, but the later in the game you go, the more options you as the player has. Walkers are Conoco, Medicine 2, Medicine 3, and Warp Flan. What do you mean Warp Flan? Gauntlet, okay. Show a typing theme? I didn't know that. So that does mean the good news, though, is only the first one needs to be fought for level 70. All the other ones can be after that. Surely I just use my Giga Attack Extra Luna and just bonk her on the head. Go. I'm gonna once again complain. I made the mistake of drinking my caffeine yesterday, and I didn't go shopping today, so I have no caffeine right now. It is a Friday, so yeesh. Just spans flan. Yeah, I knew the last one had a bunch of flans. It was like all just the flans. Yeah, I've talked up the flan gauntlet as potentially being the scariest part of the game. The good news about it is you can kind of overlevel for it. Is kind of the only saving grace that makes it potentially not the worst. Right? Like, obviously the Elite Four and the Flan Gauntlet are on the surface the hardest two parts of the game. I don't think there's any question about that. Just because of the nature of how those fights are. But how scary is a different... We'll see. They both are scary for their own reasons as well. The Elite Four is scarier because the levels are more difficult to work with on it. Because they're higher level compared to what you're going to be. Compared to at least the Flan Gauntlet. But you can heal between them all. Flan sucks because you can't heal between them all. But you can overlevel a bit more. Well, the Elite Four is scarier because of the higher levels and the fact that their teams are more full than Flaunt's teams. Right? Look, the reality is you want a party of 6 that can beat all the 4 teams in a row. That's difficult. The good news is usually when you're at Elite Four, you can kind of sack. Although since I'm doing post game, I'm a little less sack interested, of course. But we will both the Elite Four and Flan will probably have planned sacks. He gets to such a gets to get you sacked. I don't know. I feel like by the time you get to the Getsu sisters, though, you can really start bleeding puppets without too much worry. Or at least without nearly as much worry. It's why I'm scared, of course, of Boruto and Maribel, but like, I'm not giga scared on the surface. Because you can sack a lot of puppets to those 2 fights. Belong to Nose. What do you mean? When was V3? When was V3? 2 years ago? Before I was even streaming? Yeah, I should have done it back then when I wasn't streaming. Oops. My bad. Should have got around to it earlier. No, the run isn't hard anymore because Boruto isn't using all of his cheat puppets. He's only, like, slightly cheating. He's not, like, extremely cheating. No, it's too easy. The run's too easy. No, but Maribel doesn't cheat in the same ways that Boruto did. No, it's still too easy. What's the hell are Domicos? They have cheat moves. I mean, Maribel does have at least one puppet that causes your puppet to go straight to 1 HP. I'm pretty sure based on the ability of the puppet, it always will kill you. Because I think it causes like passive damage each turn or something. But oh, it's not good anymore because they don't have a puppet that's base 500 in every stat with base 200 power, 100% accurate moves that never miss. It's unbelievable. I mean, not really. Obviously, you get that far, it's great, but like, you know how tragic it would be to get all the way to Maribel and then die? Literally the last fight of the run. Alright, it's about the moral victories. Yeah, I'll give you some oral victories. How about that? That was stopping. I mean, like, if I get to Maribel, I'd probably be content with taking a break for a while and doing other things. Don't get me wrong, I'd be extremely disappointed. I might keep this here. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. There's a lot of fights that can be dismantled by certain things. Like the Boruto fight, as like kind of hard as it is on the surface. I did literally just sweep that fight with a Meira. Although, it was a perfect Meira. With every stat except, like, defense, with, like, B-. I was like, that's good enough for me. And second of all, even then, it was actually still luck-based. So, it doesn't really translate that great to a Nuzlocke, per se. Why is just, Certainly we'll just sweep everything for the rest of the game with Orin and never look back. The run. Don't make me purposely run into a bullet just to spite you. How dare you call this the run? I thought we've had this conversation before. The cheat move and, like, cheat puppets are still in the game, right? Like, they still exist in the files, there's no team that uses them, right? It's like the Boruto stuff. Eek! Still see some. Yeah, so you can sit there and be like, yeah, I remember back in the day when we had to fight Boruto with his cheated team. Not his modern cheated team, which, by the way, is still technically cheated, but, you know, his cheated team. SMH kids these days, dude. This game's just too easy, honestly. Everyone who beats this game nowadays, they just don't know. Dude, it's literally so fucking easy, dude. Like, I know these people are like talking about beating this game nowadays, but like honestly, the achievement doesn't mean anything. It's so easy compared to how it used to be, dude. Back in my day, it used to be really hard. Nowadays, it's just really easy. give 80 base power sound knockoff. Sounds like a skill issue. You're still playing hard. Yeah, but it's not the same as it used to be. So, like, honestly, your win of the modern fight doesn't really mean anything, honestly. It's just not, it's not what it used to be. What, you beat Wookiee Walk without losing single puppet? Ah, see, what a worthless fight, dude. It's not as hard as Boruto. Honestly, dude, V3 Boruto is hard, but like, come on. Have you ever played Dark Souls, dude? Come on. Come on, bro. Honestly, Dark Souls is kind of free, though, dude. Like, honestly, if you struggle with Dark Souls, you're kind of like a baby, right? Remember, anything that's PvE cannot be hard. It can be unfair, but it can't be hard. Being as another player that can adapt to what you're doing is the only way to make anything hard. I guess you went straight up, by the way. One movement there that cuts you on the regular. Are there any Curiosity decrescendo users? Under 30 base power electric absorb moves. On skill sheet. Yeah, have you ever thought about using an earth puppet? Come on. It's amazing. The puppet has that move and ability that says traps all Earth foes on the skill and kills them the very next turn. Why? Because fuck you. This puppet has a 150 base power poison type move that always lands a critical hit. With a 100% chance to poison as well. I guess I have to counter if I use my steel type. Or it has the ability that lets its poison type moves bypass steel immunity. It actually turns the steel into a super effective move against all steel types. Is that 50% on Curiosity? Shame. So I guess for some puppets, a slow decrescendo is always better if you can afford it. Question is, can you afford it? It has Eye of Calamity plus Curiosity. What does that mean? You can't just say things. Use your Mobley puppet that can't be poisoned. This puppet also has a second attack that is an Earth skill that says that the opponent is poisoned. It has 100% accuracy. And it's an Oko move. Scares. Nice. You know what? You know, sometimes you fall off. Hello, Kus. No, it's KSS, but saying Kus sounds funnier. Good luck. No. You got with me bad luck. I don't feed off of other people's positivity. It doesn't go well for me. I need bad luck and haters. That's how it works. It's okay. Fine. I guess I'll just say KSS. It's a lot of work. Yeah, it says too much. Oh, Junie's even longer. It's 4 letters compared to 3. How am I supposed to deal with this? Try to make this waterfall. No, waterfall's free. I can't make it past Notori. She's just my brain is blowing up to Notori today. 2 syllables. That's still 4 letters. Unbelievable. Where's meme as a dream type 80% AI always gives Omni boost. Oh, that's funny. Sounds like skill issue to me. Bumper crop trying to do what bumper crop does. Goes to protect, probably. I'll give you. Why don't you cheat on one of your puppets and try to find out? That much. You'll never get anywhere with that attitude. SMH my head. You know, maybe I should sit up and like try to pay attention right now. You know, it was really great. I got, like, maybe 6 hours of sleep last night, which is pretty great. But it wasn't my fault. No, it's fine, because I get to sleep in tonight, so that's all that matters. Dude, what probably what that serum rate be. No, yo, yesterday I hit some nut stats. That's just the thing of probably the dummy sluts. Go hunting for him. You know, you tell me what the fights are. When I get to Boruto, I will. I'm not going to do this. I'll modify his team to give him his old cheat team. How about that? I'm not going to do that. But, like, I can say I'll do that. can't wait to wipe the Satori fight. What is wrong with my brain on Agane? It's like, this middle is blocked off. Let's go through the middle. Boruto rematch for all of his puppets are, assist Aku. With just different amalgams of types. But with one puppet, can beat itself. Well, here's the problem with that. If it beats itself, doesn't it beat itself? Like, how am I supposed to beat myself with the puppet if it's supposed to beat itself? Obviously, the play is to use a bunch of little weak puppets in the front, with one strong puppet in the back. Try to swap to that setup. Boom. Set up so you prioritize them, but easier said than done. Probably not going the full 2 hours on this game today, but I'll go take a water break in a second and try to get one last burst before my brain shuts off. That's okay. I had a 2 miss yesterday. We don't need to push the bill of trying to get the nuts. Dance. You can't just say the name of a move and expect me to know what the move does. Unbelievable, you guys. My base power, auto hit, plus smash spin effect. Nice. Seems pretty balanced to me. I don't see the issue. I'm gonna go get some water. Be back in a minute. This move that just casually does an Omni Boost. Too bad Game Glitch already beat you to the punch on that one. SMH. So I was at my sister's earlier today for a while, but literally right before our stream. We got back at 5 minutes to set stream, boom, now I'm streaming. And I had to practice my baby carrying abilities. I was really carrying a sleeping baby. I was carrying her around for like for literally 45 minutes. Most of that I was sitting down. You quickly learn that trying to hold a sleepy baby gets your arms kind of sore, and trying to shift them around without making too much movement is a awkward thing to do, because your arms will get sore pretty quickly if you're not careful. Although that is easily the most time I've ever gotten the opportunity to hold a baby. Because usually every time there is one, it's like there's always a bunch of other women around that are just like pass the baby between themselves like a billion times. So you like I never get to hold him for more than 30 seconds. There wasn't. Dual spark, 120 power, 80 actually hits twice. 20% of the time you dodge it though, right? Like, who cares? Surely, right? You get it. 20% of the time you dodge it. What? Not my faith, no. Alright, this time for sure. It's an 88% accuracy Oko move. See, 80% accuracy, 120 base power that hits twice. Who cares? It's so much weaker in comparison, Copium. Or if you put it to 80% accuracy, it never hits anyway, right? Can't do about that easy, yeah. So as I said, Jun and Xion walked so Orin could run. Boom. Beep. Fine, it's fine. Ooh, a 6 waiver. Look how high my score is. Which was that, 6 or a 5 waiver? Okay, this time for sure, Hina. Come on. Ah, God, I got out of the center too early. Ah, just fucking bullshit. Back to the bumper. We win again. It always wins. Okay, no, this time for sure. This time for sure, right? Oh no, my faith! Oh, it's over. No world record run, SMH. Oh, what? A really bumper? Oh, this time for sure. Honestly, I always try to go so Scorpio. What I should really do is I should try to just speed run more. Try to get that early mid fairy more. Okay, bumper. Hello, 11. That was not the easiest bumper ever. It's not that bad of a bumper, but like... Nice 6 waiver? Hold up? We're so base? How'd you say? How'd you speedrun? Yeah, it's really just like trying to min-max certain attacks, like trying to find whatever like the best damaging shot is, roughly speaking, just min-maxing certain attacks. Like, there are a number of attacks where trying to speed kill is actually pretty interesting, but... I do know that, like, shoot the bullet and, like, double spoiler speedruns do exist. Get me out of there. I see speed. Yeah. Sure, I'm sure like all of the spin-offs do have them. So they're definitely a lot easier to do them in, I'd say. You're a high score. Nah, LNNing is more than enough for me. Okay, not the best fairy killing I've ever done. Yeah, it's fine. Act a human. Fucking hate the spell. Oh, I hate it so much. They're doing a speedrun, you gotta do a minimum run. What's the longest you can make the game last? How long can you make a single run go? I see you, Bumper. Game. I'm running out of any semblance of brain juice left. Five waves? Yeah, let's just move on for the day.